2022 Hot 6 GSL Super Tournament Season 2.
Welcome back, everybody. It's time to go to the final best of 5 before we close out the round of 16.
Yeah, and it's been another pretty one-sided day, which is not a result I completely expected coming into this, especially with Bunny versus Hero as match number 1. But as you see right there on the screen, Bunny with a clean 3-0 of Hero in, frankly, a very convincing fashion. He looks so strong.
DRG dominates Ryung to the point where it's like very obvious Ryung should not be going on to the round of 8. Dark and Sue, it was actually a very good ZVZ. One of the best ZVZs I've cast in a little while here. It was really interesting to see the approach. Sue definitely can hang with Dark, but Dark is just a better player. Now this next matchup, I got my eyes on RagnaroK here. I don't know if he's going to take it, and I know that sounds weird for me to say. He was just in a GSL Codes Finals. I feel like I haven't adjusted to that yet still. But whatever he's doing is working. I think it's not as fancy as like what RagnaroK does, but you know what? It doesn't really matter. A result is a result.
He's so consistent. I mean, he's gotten top 6 in like the last 3 GSL seasons he played in, and that includes the semifinal, or the finals, excuse me, the second place finish. And at DreamHack, he also got top 8, if I'm not mistaken. So RagnaroK, it just seems like whatever he chooses to do, it works. And it's kind of odd because sometimes you watch his play and he wins, but you know, it won't be the most clean game. It won't seem like he blindsided his opponent with some really quirky or cool strategy. It's just like he gets the edge on his opponent every single game, just enough to get the win. And I mean, that's a talent in and of itself, but he's coming up here against Cure, who, although the results are a little bit more shaky on his side of things, he has been quietly one of the best Terrans in Korea, if not the world. Yeah,
he's a very, very strong Terran player. RagnaroK does like to kind of brute force stuff. He likes to do a lot of aggro moves that are not really intended to win, so I don't want to be you guys to be misled like, oh, it's an all-in. It's like what Dark did. Not really. It's like he wants to just attack you and force you to defend, and he'll drone and, you know, he'll trade out, you know, his roaches. Very often it's roaches. And kind of just try to play a control game from there on out.
It kind of feels like he has a slightly different grasp on a lot of Zerg's matchups than other Zerg players do.
Yeah, he's kind of been doing a lot of his own stuff, and it seems like it's just now starting to click as we get through to 2022 here, and I'm curious to see if it's going to remain here in 2023. That being said, we get a lot of players that get to a GSL Finals. We say, is it going to be the next step for them? Can they go win a whole tournament? And they don't. They fall off right after that.
Yeah, so GSL Finals into top 8 at DreamHack. We'll see if he's able to continue this momentum in Super Tournament as Data C is getting loaded up. Set number 1 between RagnaroK and Cure. So we're ready to finish off day 2 of the GSL Super Tournament.
Game start. Sir RagnaroK.
Mouthwash in there.
It's gonna have such a clean mouth.
Yeah.
Got a spit bucket.
He'll start his second hatchery and spit it out.
Terran cured.
That's how he trains himself to macro really well.
That's right.
He wants to get the hatchery down as fast as possible. Ooh, CC first.
Yeah, not surprising by Cure.
Pool first.
What?
Okay.
Okay, so this is going to be interesting. Now, you know, you and I were actually casting this earlier in Season 3. Was it Season 2 as well? Did we cast it together a little bit in Season 2?
I think some days.
I think Artosis was gone just for a few days then, too.
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken.
And so, one thing to note is that Pool First doesn't actually hard counter CC First.
Yeah, I don't know exactly what you would need to do with Zerg to hard counter it, like maybe a 12 pool or something.
Yeah, maybe literally like immediately make a pool. I'm not totally sure.
Yeah, because we saw this, and it was able to delay the command center just a little bit, but that was pretty much everything. It didn't do much more than that. And actually, a gas as well. Okay.
Now, that would be a very cool moment if this is like directly... This is a setup to address CC First.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it is, though, because the firstlings are about to hatch now, and the command center, as you see right there, is already more than 60% done. First barracks almost finished as well, so...
So quick CC has been very trendy this year. sometimes referred to as the OP build.
It's not us that call it that. It's the Terran players.
It's the Terran players that are referring to it.
Their post-match interviews.
And so basically, the idea is that you just rush out a base right away, and like you're not necessarily the safest in the world, but most Zergs don't really play for really early aggression early on.
It has to be like a full coin flip from the Zerg if they want to try and blank counter it.
They have to decide they're going to flip a coin, and of course, if Terran just plays normally, then the Zerg doesn't do anything, and it's going to be actually a very hard early game, which isn't that common.
And I would say that we usually see it from Terran, like maybe in about a third of games, maybe a little bit, maybe even a little bit less than that. But it's not something that's like 50-50. So Zergs really would have to gamble to actually do that. I mean, you should not like those odds.
Yeah, Stim is coming here, and RagnaroK just takes the third base right away.
And very fast Zergling speed as well.
Now, I don't know that you could do any kind of brute force stuff like we saw RagnaroK do in the past. It seemed like that was better versus the standard play, where you would get a command center pretty fast, but not that fast.
I don't think we're going to see something like that from RagnaroK. What we might see is maybe a little bit of Roach or Ravager Ling pressure. That's something that he likes to do a lot in this matchup. And although oftentimes when he does it, we're left scratching our heads just a little bit because it doesn't get too much damage done. It kind of slows down the pace of the game a little bit. Ooh, almost got that supply depot.
That would have been a big kill if he had just sniped that off.
But it's just something that we see from him consistently in ZVT that seems to like slightly slow down the mass of the bio growing in the Terran base, while also keeping the Terran back at home defending, and he's droning up back on his base. And it's not something that a lot of other Zergs do that often. But for RagnaroK, it seems to be a winning formula in this matchup. And so it is kind of interesting the way that he kind of moves to the beat of his own drum in that sense. We'll see if he's going to do something like that in this game. As of yet, still no Roach Warren, so.
And Cure is doing like the most standard branch of the build, which is just power on two base and push. We did see people kind of dabble with take a third command center. I don't feel like that complements the opening.
It still happens a lot. I think even Ryung might have done that in match number 1, if I'm not mistaken.
I think that's correct.
It's just, it's shaky because...
Well, I feel like you're giving yourself this lead, and then it's like you're kind of letting the game run away with it.
That's exactly
the whole point is like you've got this lead. Come in there and force them to either respect your build or lose the game and go from there.
Yeah, you're surrendering a lot of map control going for the third CC, whereas 2CC has absolute kill potential. Well, and in this case, it's going to be 2CC with a lot of bio, a lot of units powered up, and then a later command center. So this isn't like a super fast third CC. This is going to be heavy pressure coming out of Cure.
No, this is going to be a lot of pressure coming here. We got combat shields coming here. The tech lab's almost done. And, this is a much earlier moment to come out on the map. Excuse me. This is a much earlier moment to come out on the map.
And this is a good number of Marines as well. Now, I don't know exactly what upgrades they have. I see combat shields is almost done. I'm assuming they have stim.
Yeah, I think stim's done.
I don't think there's any +1 infantry weapons, so... See exactly what Cure is able to get done with this. He is trying to scan and pick off some tumors. He does get these as they're morphing in. But with the number of queens that Zerg players make nowadays, you really have to camp these positions if you want to deny the creep, because they're never going to run out of energy, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
Combat shields is done now. We're just stimming around a little bit.
So he's actually collecting tanks still. The push is going to come. It's not going to be as all-in as just 2 bases, like we saw, especially early on when this build came out.
Yeah, there's still no engineering bay, if I'm not mistaken. So this is going to be a very powerful 3-base push. This is not macro-focused.
The third command center is going to be there just so we can keep supporting the barracks and everything else. Okay, 1-1 starts here now.
Excuse me, I was making my face. Immediately starts 1-1 after I say that.
I believed you when you said it too. I'm like, of course, there's no E-base.
I just didn't catch the E-base. But, I mean, regardless of that, they're kind of late, right?
Right.
Oftentimes we'll see players go for really fast E-base with the third CC, but instead, Cure has been prioritizing getting his military infrastructure up very quickly, and he's been doing a good job as well of that group with 20 Marines of keeping the creep spread under control, and that's going to allow him to take a more advantageous position to siege up from, and it looks like for him the target's going to be the 4th base.
Yeah, and always we want to try to hit that 4th base, right?
Yeah.
That's when the Zerg really has a weak spot that you could try to go for. Now, there's a lot of Ravagers out here, which makes it pretty hard to siege up your tanks, right? Especially if you only have 2 right now. We see a third that's going to be coming out of the natural right here.
Yeah,
but,
and Kier sees that army from RagnaroK, and he just immediately starts backing off a little bit. Seems like he will go for a double drop with Marines, possibly towards the 4th base, or the main base, excuse me, instead, as he just, you know, postures back at home. He needs to power up a little bit more. And I like this call by Kier a lot because, you know, the Roach Ravager composition like this, especially with 40+ lings accompanying them, it power spikes really hard really early, but it doesn't scale that well, whereas tanks and bio do.
Yeah, tanks and bio can go the whole way through the game here. So, you know, I think maybe forcing RagnaroK to try to defend this and then not really committing, not a bad idea.
Yeah, not a bad idea. And then you can see what he does is he escorts all of the very slow but powerful units, the siege tanks, back at home. Once he gets them there in a defensive position, he peels off all of the Marines, which are very maneuverable, to start going and do 2-prong attacks on the map. And as of yet, he hasn't gotten too much done, but he is controlling the creep spread, and that is very, very important. He might even get this fifth hatch.
Yeah, that's a good deny over there. Controls this area pretty well, actually cleaning up quite a bit of creep.
That's a lot of tumors going down.
When you see this many Roach Ravager, I mean, there's no mutas at play here, so you can trade very effectively. Nice one by Kier. He pulls out right now.
Well, that's a fast hive out of RagnaroK.
Yeah, this is interesting.
It's
Roach Ravager into the hive tech here.
It's not often that you see hive start at the same time as Veiling speed, but that's what's going on right now.
And Terran's going to stay back and continue to macro up. Just keep the Zerg off of 5th base as long as he can and probably expand over here near 12 o'clock.
Yeah, RagnaroK fishing a little bit for this bio ball. Does eventually find it, but this is a fight off creep, so Kier's going to be able to micro and kill all these lings. RagnaroK just trying to get him out of this corner of the map. Does not want that 5th base to get canceled yet again. And I'm curious about this this hive tech, because the economy isn't really there to do too much with this, I think. So what I'm imagining is this is going to unlock, you know, the 3/3 upgrades and Zergling attack speed is with a little bit of an engagement here. Kier microing back. It's a ton of those Zerglings.
You know, Kier's trading out pretty damn well.
Yeah, he is losing some Marines, but that's a lot of larvae being traded. I mean, RagnaroK right now is only on 80 workers. He would much rather be closer to 85 or 90, I think. And 3 Vipers in production, okay. 3 Vipers. Ultralisk Cavern as well this early. Huh. You know, I understand going for 3/3, getting Adrenal, getting some Vipers, but the Ultralisk Cavern this early is...
It's not
something
that common, right?
Surprises me.
And so, these creep colonies are going to be shot down over here. Right now, it's been a very interesting game here from RagnaroK. He's kind of just staying back and kind of sitting on this tech. A lot of times we see Zergs try to trade out these units and then switch. But I guess because Terran hasn't committed to any attack yet, the Zerg doesn't want to try to give this up.
Yeah, and this game is going to have a little bit of a different dynamic from some other ZVTs that we watch, because generally the Zerg army, when it maxes, it has to kind of attack to trade out so that you can remax on something else. But this time, because of the way RagnaroK is fleshing out his tech tree, he's actually going to have a really powerful maxed army very early in this game.
Yeah, no way you can attack in there with the 4 tanks clumped all the way in the back. Terran on 4 bases now, as you know, the Zerg is just going to continue.
Yeah, and RagnaroK doesn't really want to engage until the Adrenal is done. These moves just trying to buy himself a little bit of time, I think. As Kier's just setting up in front of him. He is getting that 4th command center down now, and looking at the mini-map, you can see he's throwing down 2 more CCs as well. And RagnaroK, Adrenal about to finish. He's coming in now. Adrenal Glance is done.
Yeah, he's moving in, and I don't see any tanks sieged up back here.
No, the tanks are completely unsieged.
Oh
Blinding Clouds on the entire army as RagnaroK is making this timing work to perfection right now. All the tanks are cleaned up. It's just Bio here remaining, but a lot of the frontline forces here for the Zerg are going down.
Does Terran have enough to chew through this? Yes, he does. Enough infantry is underneath those medevacs. He does fire back. And you can see now it's 4 Ultras and tons of Lings are being manufactured.
Oh, what a great bile! It's like a disruptor shot.
Yeah.
So, Cure does eventually stabilize, but keep in mind that he lost a ton of tanks in that fight. He actually has no tanks on the field at all right now. It's pure bio mine, and no mines are here with this army. It's just the Medivacs, Marines, and Marauders.
And this means that Zerg's going to have a lot more push potential here as these Ultras hatch.
Yeah, Widow Mine's now finally burrowing here, joining the bio in the front. Nice hits there, get a good number of Banelings, but Viper's able to even clean up some of these Medivacs.
Yeah, he's going to continue to try to fight this off. Does seem like Terran might just have enough.
Yeah, I feel like RagnaroK might be overextending just a little bit over here.
I think he keeps thinking he's going to win these fights. All he has to do is stay back a little bit more and wait for his reinforcements. But I guess as the Ultras come in here, there's just no way on earth.
Well, they can't really fight off creep. They need the Lings to accompany them and get us around on the bio.
Yeah, you might be right. I think he might have bled off too many Lings earlier on. And now these Ultras are getting shot down.
Yeah.
Okay, you know what? I think that although RagnaroK played really well, he might have been like a little bit too sloppy, a little bit too reckless after he traded his Roach Ravager out. I think, you know, we talk about this a lot, but, you know, Roach Ravager isn't great in the late game, and so normally they trade that out early on, and RagnaroK didn't do that. He kind of waited and tried to take a full-on fight, but it seems like he gave Cure enough of a runway here to then, you know, continue on with a push.
Yep, Cure now posturing here in front of the 5th base. RagnaroK's going to come in the last-ditch effort to try and defend, but there's so much bio here and just a couple of Ultras on the ground.
3-3's finishing here, so many Marauders, and just not enough Ultralists, not enough Lings, not enough anything Zerg-related. I gotta say, I'm very impressed. It looks like Cure is going to 1-0 RagnaroK here in the first game.
Yeah, Cure playing very well right now. Adapting on the fly after the timing push, recognizes that he can just move across the map and try and get as much value out of his bio as possible, and these splits are just fantastic for him, almost doubling the supply of RagnaroK as Cure is looking to close out game number 1.
Yep, GG, Cure takes it, giving him that lead. RagnaroK, again, he's always played differently than these other players. And, you know, it's not bad, but you kind of saw why that didn't work that time around.
Yeah, but I feel like the initial timing attack was really good. I mean, he attacked right when Adrenal finished it, when a melee attack upgrade finished. He had 3 Vipers, he had insane blinding clouds. He got pretty much every key Terran unit. All the siege tanks went down, and it was just bio and Medivacs. But the follow-up from there, he wasn't really able to remax fast enough. And I wonder if that was him overextending, trying to defend that bottom base, or if it was kind of the result of his economy not being enough to support all that tech at once. Because keep in mind, he was only on 80 drones for a very long time there.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. It's kind of a unique ZVT that we get to see, but it was a very cool one. I'm glad that RagnaroK played that game. It was fun to watch.
It's interesting because I think it almost illustrates why you don't normally play like that and try to just hang on. But again, it's also a weird game because it was like the 2CC or the Quick Command Center right away, right? So you're kind of expecting the game to be a push, and Cure never really overcommitted. Guys, Stargazers has loaded up. We're going to go into game 2 in the final best of 5 of the night.
Game start. Sir RagnaroK. Terran, Cure.
Another thing to mention in that game. Oh, hold that thought.
Hold on. How about not state?
How about we talk about barracks instead?
Yeah. How about not mention that game? So, this is. Wait, is there a third SCV? I got to lean closer to my
2
screen.
SCVs. I don't see anyone else moving out on the minimap just yet. So this might just be proxy 2 racks.
But you know, with the popularity of proxy 2 racks into the 3rd racks being hidden from the second 2.
Yeah, there's still no SCV coming out, and no gas.
But you might see this coming and not even have a good read on it. Is what I wanted to say. Like, it's possible you look at this and like. Oh, by the way, he's just not going to see this.
Yeah, the Overlord scouting pattern is not.
He's like, who sponsors this tournament? Oh, Hot 6. That's right.
Yeah, we'll see if the second Overlord is going to actually clip this. Get the mini-map.
The second Overlord might, if I'm looking at the trajectory right, might just exactly not do this. Hold on.
It's pretty close. It's pretty close, Tasteless.
Oh, no, he's going to get it. I'm
pretty close.
Oh.
All right. Jig is up. But he didn't scout it very quickly. It was not the first Overlord, it was the second Overlord. So
Yeah,
Marine production already fully started here.
Seconds are huge, you know, when it comes to scouting proxies. You know, if you can even just get like a 2-second lead on like a 2-second heads up, I guess is the better way to put it.
Just throws down the third hatchery, does RagnaroK.
Bunker. Like it's 1998.
That is some confidence, right? Throwing down the third hatchery here? He saw the barracks. Spinecrawler morphing in the main mineral line.
Well, Zergs have been pretty good at holding these, but I mean, the fact of the matter is that it's not like he saw this right away. The spine's being made in the main. The SCV is gonna do a loop-de-loop inside there.
I wonder if also maybe he recognizes that the situation here at the natural ramp isn't salvageable, so he needs to start the back expansion right away.
2 Lings, excuse me, were killed off there. The spine's not done. You need the queens and the spine to come down if you're gonna take the fight there.
I don't think he's going to take the fight.
You think he's just going to sack it?
I think he might. He does have that natural expansion. As it is right now, 1 bunker completed, a second bunker going up, 2 SCVs, all these Marines. It's just, it would be so hard to hold that. So it seems like this expansion wasn't RagnaroK feeling confident about holding this off. It's just like, okay, I'm going to lose my front expo, but at least I'll have the one at the back and I'll be able to macro out of this just a bit. Because, I mean, imagine if he hadn't mined those minerals yet, or if that base was only halfway done, his economy would be in complete shambles right now. And instead, RagnaroK coming into the main base. He does scout 1 command center, but will he be able to scout the second one, as this is actually a 3CC follow-up from Kira?
Yeah, it's 2 very different games. And you can see that he's fractured off some of his army.
Oh, it's a full wall, isn't it?
So this, yeah, that's correct.
So
that's
cool.
airtight, so you can't get through there. And so the idea is that, all right, he's denied. Oh, dude.
Oh.
Kira is on fire, man.
It's brutal.
He
He does see the third
away?
CC.
Does it? Okay, no, he gets it. So, yeah, he denies the hatchery. Then he makes 3 command centers total, right? And then he walls this in with the bunkers, so that basically Zerg has to spend all their money trying to open up this position to expand, where Terran should just get this very comfy head start. Now, that's not that easy, by the way.
Yeah, what Kira's doing is buying himself a lot of time, and perhaps this goes back to him electing to go 2 barracks instead of 3 barracks, is that he kind of expected the game to maybe go this way. And,
well, you know what else? It doesn't look like a map where, you know, either of those 2 builds would be that strong, right? Because they do get that free base in the back. But I guess when you play like this, it makes a lot more sense.
yeah, and this play is not about killing, it's about containing. And right now, Kira's going to be on 3 command centers, unless RagnaroK builds a macro hatch, which probably wouldn't be the best decision.
Dude, he cannot get in the right position with these.
Yeah, it's
Oh my god.
awkward little dance. I think that one should hit. Yeah, that one does hit.
I think the other one doesn't. No.
Yeah, he recognizes it too.
This is one of the funny things with StarCraft. It's like not that obvious what the right range is to make this work. I think that's
He's just going to go.
Yeah. Well, he doesn't have any more time to waste here.
He has to get that hatchery up as fast as possible. Let's see if he's going to try and repair and make this cost as much as possible here.
I mean, he's doing it. To be honest, I mean, this is so much money that the Zerg is spending.
Yeah, I almost feel like RagnaroK should have gone in to try and kill the SCVs. This is insane value.
Dude. This bunker, can we interview the bunker after the game's done? This is crazy.
This is like the
He's gonna kill the Sunken Colony. Or spine crawler, sorry.
This is
These
crazy.
SCVs, their arms are so tired from repairing. He might have to leave the game, man. He's like not gonna kill this thing.
It's insane. RagnaroK has 780 minerals right now. Second spine crawler almost goes down. Transfuses the queen instead of the spine.
Does he want to try to run out and kill the spine? I guess it doesn't
Dude,
matter.
RagnaroK cannot macro. He's only on two hatcheries. He's going to come in with the Lings, and this should eventually be able to clean this up as he surrounds the SCVs and takes them down, but this is about as expensive as possible. Even a queen falls.
Oh
that spine crawler might get focused as well.
They might have stim right before this ends.
Oh my god, this is a nightmare.
Dude, he's like,
dude, this bunker, holy
he's going to get the spine now.
Holy crap.
Oh my god, there's going to be Marines. There are going to be Marines to get home. I can't believe this.
Wow.
This was supposed to be like not an interesting part of the game where it's like, yeah, well, you know, look.
You're going to contain, you're going to delay the third hatchery, eventually the Zerg will come clean it up, the game will continue, but instead, oh my god, look at how many Marines we have back at home. This is how far back the Zerg has been set, is that Kure, not only does he have a worker advantage, but he has like double the amount of Marines as RagnaroK has Zerglings right now.
I can't believe that.
I think he's just going to push across the map and kill him.
Yeah, I don't even know if he needs to do much else. I think he can almost just A-move across the map. This is wild to me. That was, for me at least, the highlight of the evening was watching.
Absolutely. I can't believe how well this went.
I'm stunned by what he was able to eke out damage-wise. I guess the Zerg should have gone for the 2 SCVs in the back way earlier.
Yeah, that's what I was confused about in the initial fight, is that he pulled the Lings back like he wanted to save them, but you need to kill the SCVs, otherwise the bunker's never going to die.
Yeah.
All right, Kure scans in, gets a good idea of the situation here, but these are Marines not only with stim pack, but also with combat shields, and infantry armor level 1's going to finish very soon.
Oh my god. Yeah, I think, I mean, tell me, yeah, that's it, GG. I've never quite seen that before.
That's incredible.
Yeah, he should have killed the SCVs earlier. I mean, that being said, I think Kure probably still wins.
Man, I still want to interview that bunker.
That bunker, man.
That's like the bunker that Terran like sends back to the R&D department to like find out how to make Neosteel frame like a better upgrade.
That's
like,
right, man.
Just like it never died.
That's gonna be Kure's bunker. They're gonna have to go to that bunker before the finals of the next year's GSL, and it's gonna be like a retired bunker living in the woods. Like, you're the only one that can do it for the rush.
Yeah, Kure's gonna like win this super tournament, and they're just gonna like they're gonna melt down the trophy and turn it into a bunker.
I can't believe how long that thing lived.
Wow. Well, I think RagnaroK is gonna request a break here because he's gonna go research what bunkers are made out of. He's like, what was that? What's the base armor on a bunker again?
Yeah.
What's the repair rate on an SCV?
We don't really see that 3 bunker wall anymore. That was like year 1 of StarCraft 2, when Select would like do the bunker rush and like make the little wall. They couldn't get out. But yeah, that was a smart setup. Kure really came in here playing this out. I mean, he knew who he was up against. RagnaroK, of course, GSL Code S finalist of this last season of GSL Code S.
Yeah, this might be a round 1 of upsets right now. Hero.
Yeah.
The last Protoss Hope and the reigning DreamHack champion gets revenge on by Bunny. 2nd place runner-up from DreamHack. And now RagnaroK, the 2nd place from GSL, might be eliminated here in the first round by Kure. And Says, I don't think we're going to a break. I think we're ready to go into Tropical Sacrificer, set number 3.
I think so. Guys, game 3 starts now. RagnaroK versus Kure continues on.
Start. Sir, RagnaroK. Terran, Kure.
Still can't get over that bunker.
That was crazy. And it went on and on and on and on, too. But I think part of it was, the bunker was crazy.
Absolutely.
Everybody saw that happen. We're going to get bunker tattoos after this, man. No one's going to know what that is when they look at it. You get a coffee coaster tattoo? No, it's a bunker.
Coaster.
You know, RagnaroK versus Kure, game 2. Round of 16.
What's that, what's like the Frisbee game that people play? You know what I'm talking about? Like the one that like, college kids are like super into. No. Like, it's like disc golf or whatever.
Frisbee.
Yeah.
Ultimate Frisbee, disc golf.
I think like the bunker tattoos, like it's like a new high tech like disc golf.
Yeah.
Disc golf Frisbee or something.
This one doesn't even have to move too. It's crazy.
That was insane.
But yeah, it just like, I guess there was also this error from RagnaroK where he wasn't able to calculate how far the spine crawler is supposed to be. But also when the bunker, when the first one died, the fact that he made another one behind that was kind of interesting. It's just like, well, because the thing is, if those bunkers die fast, all the Marines die. They can't get back home. So I guess it makes more sense to like spend a little bit of extra money.
I think it's all about just buying time, right? I mean, Kure's on 3 command centers. Not only does he have the worker lead because RagnaroK is on 2 hatcheries, but he also has mules dropping down. He's fully saturated on 3 bases instead of 2 bases.
He literally can't be attacked until that position's taken out. It's like a true contain.
So pretty much anything that he can do to delay, it doesn't matter if it costs more mineral investment, it more than pays for itself, and how badly RagnaroK's economy is just getting messed up. And now Kure going for another fast command center here. Factory follow-up for him. And RagnaroK with a handful of Zerglings, also Zergling speed on the way. Kind of similar to what we saw in game number 1.
And Kier's not doing anything, weird or out of the ordinary. I think at this point in time, his confidence levels are through the roof.
Yeah, this is pretty textbook.
Gotta say, a lot of surprises just in the round of 16.
I'm surprised we don't have a Protoss player in the round of 8. I'm surprised that Hero not only got eliminated, but got 3-0'd. I mean, I could always see Bunny beating Hero there in the round 1. Like, the DreamHack Finals was so close. Bunny had a 3-1 series lead at some point in his first LAN Grand Finals.
Right.
But, like, the fashion that he lost in, 3-0 that quickly, was surprising. And now RagnaroK, the GSL runner-up, also on the verge of potentially getting 3-0'd. And it's just very surprising results here in the first round of Super Tournament.
We have not had a 3-2 yet. And I mean, this one's not looking like it's going to be a 3-2 either. But
a lot of lings coming out of RagnaroK as he drones behind this.
So we talked about this before. This might be the first time we actually get to see it, but RagnaroK likes to attack early on.
Almost got a strand on that Hellion. He's going to try and get it.
Oh no, he messed up. He actually locked the Hellions on the outside.
Yeah, Hellions will get cleaned up, and a lot of SCVs as well. And this is a nice exchange here for RagnaroK. This did not cost him very much, and it more than paid for itself already in cleaning up the first 2 Hellions and 7 SCVs.
So what RagnaroK seems to be good at, and I'm glad we get one game that gets to illustrate this, is that he'll and there's nothing really fancy or complicated about the attack. He'll just attack in, and if the Terran's like cutting corners or like trying to scout with a Hellion, they lose their stuff and they get forced back. And if the attack doesn't do that much, RagnaroK never overmade. He didn't like spend all of his money doing this. So
it's like 14 lings or something.
Yeah,
it's not bad.
It's an expendable, forgivable amount to lose.
And if he doesn't do it with lings, sometimes he does it with roaches, right? We see the same thing.
I feel like more often with roaches, yeah.
Yeah. That is a nice opening. He definitely makes his Terran opponents play honest. He does have this reputation of kind of coming out with these builds quite often in the Best of X series.
And so, right now, Kira's just going and getting Banshees with Cloak. Again, a very normal game. He got tripped up a little bit there early on. It is 1-1-1, so Barracks, Factory, Starport.
Yeah, and the Hellion count getting reset does hurt Kira quite a bit. We'll have 2 less Hellions when he comes in with us. He would love to have 8 instead of 6 right now. He's potentially going to try and get some 2-prong damage in. And the Banshee, it's already been revealed by the Overlord outside of the Terran 3rd base position. So he's going to pick off a Creep Timber now, come into the 3rd base, but Spore Crawlers and Queens are already in position. And now that Kira knows where the Queens are, he's going to try and run in with these Hellions, but there are Lings patrolling to try and block the ramp. Doesn't get a full block off, but the Lings are already dead. That may be a lot of drones going down, Tasteless.
Okay, yeah, there's just not quite enough Lings here to really stop this. And look at this, he's just going to get another shot in there. 12 drones killed off. I don't think he can get any more. Oh no,
almost.
Bruises him.
But that's kind of reminiscent of what RagnaroK just did to Kira.
Yeah. He's like, now I'm going to make a bunch of decently strong units that are expendable and attack in. Yeah, well, that's the funny thing about it is that it seemed like RagnaroK didn't quite have enough Lings. It's like he took his advantage and then...
I think he had enough. He just needed some Queens there. Like, he had like a million Queens in position here at the 3rd base to defend against the Banshee, which is not necessary.
RagnaroK's like, no, I'm going to take some expendable units and hit you with it. He does see the 3rd CC, by the way. Very important.
Oh, did he? He caught that with the Lings. That's a good thing to confirm there. Knows this is not going to be a 2-base all-in. And yeah, that instantly starts up double evolution chamber for RagnaroK. He knows that he can actually begin to ramp up his economy and his tech a little bit.
Okay, so definitely healthy production here for Kira. But RagnaroK's not in bad shape. He's getting his 4th base. I don't know that Kira's going to try to push out or not. You know, it's pretty common to always try to at least make the Zerg defend the 4th base.
I don't think he will, just because his first 2 medevacs aren't on the field yet. They're only about halfway done because he made those 2 Banshees. So for Kira, I expect him to try and take this 3rd base and just amass an army that with either 4 or 6 medevacs is able to move across the map and potentially deny the 4th or the 5th of RagnaroK. Because right now, I mean, he invested a lot of his early game tempo and units that get economic damage done, and he did get that damage done with the Hellions, not so much the Banshees. But it does set back his army quite a bit in terms of its strength.
Looks like RagnaroK's set up for another counterattack. Oh, hold on, they're going to meet each other over here.
Oh, he is really going to move out with the first 2 medevacs.
Yeah.
That's some bravery, man.
Well, let's see what this could do. The Banshees are going to add some nice cover over here. +1 attack and combat shields is going to finish. So this does, you know, map out to a pretty sensible time to attack. He's going to catch these Banes too. Now, when you consider how many fights are won or lost based off one Bane just connecting with the Marines, this is like a pretty big find to deny 4 Banelings.
It's a nice catch. RagnaroK goes back to Cure's base to intercept any reinforcements.
Yeah, he tries to basically get in between them, but the interception was just too good.
Now that Cure has 4 medevacs out, he might be looking to make a bigger push right here through the center lane of this map. More Banelings getting caught morphing. And that's concerning here for RagnaroK. He has 16 more Banelings underway.
So, oh, nice catch here. Gonna get these Banes as well. The push is gonna come up over here. Now, I think RagnaroK's got a decent shot of holding this.
Yeah, he's gonna have about 30 Banelings, which is a really high amount, but he needs to get a good surround. He does not want to get caught up here in this choke.
Yeah, now I think the Zerg might even want to try to destroy those rocks. That bottleneck, if he can just clear the creep out, it's already dissipating. And he could just wedge some tanks down here. I think he could start to shell the hatchery, and it's just not easy to get over here. That little entrance is just a little bit too tight.
Yep. Small lane counterattack, going to pick up a couple of SCVs over here to third base, but the big story is RagnaroK setting up for this flank over here. Banelings and Zerglings coming in from both sides, but a little bit disjointed on the left side. Now the forces converging right here in the middle, going for a big surround.
Dude.
Does get Ling surrounds on the siege tanks.
Dude, the tank shots were so good.
Wow.
That was like almost perfect.
Only 1 tank left, but so many Lings and Banelings went down that might be enough.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he needs a lot more Banes now.
Look at the army supplies right now, 72 for Cure to the 44 of RagnaroK. That was a perfect engagement. I saw the Lings getting a surround on the tanks, and I thought it was good for him, but I guess the siege tank shots were just too big.
Yeah, I mean, he literally had each of the 3 tanks shoot into 3 different parts of the Banes. The head, it doesn't go down.
It might eventually.
Sometimes I feel like casting's like a rhythm game, and I'm like, I'm going to say it right at the right moment. But I do think this is the beginning of the end here.
I really think so.
He transfuses this, but, you know, it's a futile attempt.
I don't see any way that RagnaroK is going to be able to overcome this army count discrepancy. 80 army supply to 44 is just a terrible position here. 28 more Zerglings are about to pop, but RagnaroK is going to need the best engagement of his life if he's going to be able to break out of this spot here. He knows he has to defend this hatchery. It's fully saturated, needs the economy. It's going so low on HP right now.
Goes down. And, I mean, the army supply is pretty intimidating right now here for Cure. That was some of the best targeting you could have ever asked for. And look, he's not overextending. He has a decent number of his Marines on the low ground. He has stuff, you know, in position to kind of spread out. And this is another sign of a great player, is when you know to, like, okay, go back home. You kill the base, go home.
Yeah. RagnaroK going to pull back, rendezvous with his forces back at his third base, and then go for what I'm imagining will probably be a killing blow if he decides to commit to it, because army supplies right now 104 for Cure to the 64 of RagnaroK.
Oh, denied. And then he sees there's a hatch over here at the bottom right. There's no creep over here, so like this is his for the pickings.
It's a lot of bio coming in, healthy number of siege tanks as well. And man, the Queens, there's no creep connecting this base to the other.
So vulnerable.
The Queens are going to go down. Feels like nothing is going RagnaroK's way right now.
Another counterattack is going to come here from the Zerg. Oh my God, he's everywhere.
Cure is just playing a fantastic series right now.
Does this get canceled in time? He might not be looking.
No.
He gets killed.
Did you say killed?
Yeah. Now the Banes are going to come down.
Yeah, this is RagnaroK kind of going for a Hail Mary play right now. He knows he needs to get some damage done, and yes, he will be able to kill the forces here and the SCVs. Actually, no, the SCVs, Cure is so good. He picks up the SCVs, and the medevacs able to save 10 of them. As now Cure going to amp up the pressure over here on what is now the third base of RagnaroK. These siege tanks in a fantastic position. This vertical line is going to be so hard to break. RagnaroK knows he has to engage on this bio. He's going to try and get us around, and he does have a pretty good one right now, but will the Baneling connections be good enough? The target fire for the siege tanks, once again, so good. All the Marines survive.
Yeah, infantry armor 2 is now done. Oh my God, he's going to cloak over here. I don't think that RagnaroK can last that much longer. The amount of damage he's taking.
Yeah. I mean, that was a great counterattack by him. It feels like he needed to make a play like that. But look at the resources lost tab right now. 17,000 for RagnaroK to 8,600 from Curie. He's been almost twice as efficient as his Zerg opponent. And that translates right into an almost double army supply lead. And Curie's just playing such a smart game right now. He knows RagnaroK is only on 3 hatcheries. He's only on 3 mining bases. And look, even the 3rd base. This is the most distant base that RagnaroK has. It has half minerals right now. There's almost no income.
Okay, he's coming up now. The Banes are going to come down. And the Siege Tank once again, he does. That's it, GG. He taps out. 3-0.
Wow.
Pure. Clean in house here. Wow.
They have upsets right now.
I can't believe it, man.
GSL runner-up eliminated 3-0.
We were just talking on the breaks. Stay and I were talking. We were like, okay, well, everything's been pretty one-sided, but this one has to be close, right? Because Pure's so good, but RagnaroK, you know, with the results he's produced, he's got to be, you know, the favorite. And like, Pure just played so well. I had to say, again, some of the best targeting there. When those Banes came down, and there were so many Banes, he had the tank shots split so perfectly as the Banes were so clumped up that then the infantry could take it out, and that's when that 4th base fell. And the rest is history. It was just him maintaining his lead.
All right, guys, we're going to go to an interview with our winner, Cure.
Wow, what an incredible performance from Cure. Cure takes down RagnaroK in a 3-0 fashion. We're going to have an interview with him. Congratulations. Thank you. And Cure, congratulations on making it to the round of 8. And this year, you have been struggling against RagnaroK, but today you defeat him. How do you feel? Well, I came here thinking that today's match is going to be hard, but things went according to plan, and that's why I was able to win 3-0. Your micro in the skirmishes in the last game was just fantastic. In the first game, you're actually chatting to him, trying to shake his mentality. And you were actually doing as you chatted. So what was the background behind the chat? Well, it was planned beforehand. And I just wanted to shake his mentality as much as possible. Just trying to bring him into the battle wits. But I didn't flame him too hard during the game. I just went for the orthodox build. I mean, the enemy kept expanding the roaches and the ravagers in the fight against you. I mean, RagnaroK was very offensive today, and he expanded a lot of units, and that gave me a window of opportunity to strike him, and then I was able to win. The proxy racks and the proxy bunker was just amazing to watch. It was just mind-blowing. You're enduring for such a long time in front of the enemy expansion. So what are your thoughts on this? I mean, it was my first time encountering such a situation. It was really entertaining for me. I had a lot of fun. So, you know, it was a very fun way to play out the game. All right, this question is outside the game. So in GSL Season 3, you played really well. So what is your goal for this Super Tournament? I mean, this year I haven't been able to get good results, so my goal is to definitely win the Super Tournament. I'm gonna have to prepare hard though to make good results. Your opponent in the round of 8 is gonna be Dark. So what are your thoughts on that? I mean, he's a tough opponent, but in GSL Season 3, I've had experience beating him, taking him down. So I think it's going to be doable. In Season 3, round of 10, you beat everybody else apart from Maru, and then you got reverse sweep by the other player. But watching you in DreamHack Atlanta, you beat Bunny, and then Bunny beat you. It was like back and forth. And so far, there are many Terrans, but no Protoss. So what are your thoughts on the racial balance? I mean, my TVT is definitely going to be affected with my condition during the day. So I'm not going to care too much about the TVT. I'm going to try to emphasize more on the TVZ match on the day. All right then, Cure. So you did say that your objective for this season was to win the Super Tournament. So anything else you want to say? Well, this year I haven't been able to get good results, like I said before. So for the remaining tournaments, I'll try to make thorough preparation and try to do my best. Kyo, once again, congratulations on your win. And that was an interview with the last round of eight advancer. Thank you.
Thank you, Andy. Excellent work today, as always. What an interesting round of 16. You know, it was just
almost entirely 3-0s.
Yeah. You know, normally you have like 1 or 2 3-0s in a super tournament. So here's our bracket now. It's Maro versus Beyond, so TVT to start this off. And then it's 3 TVZs, right?
Yeah, Solar versus Gumiho, Bunny versus DRG, and Dark versus Cure. And these are a lot of really good matchups.
Yeah, this is going to be a lot of fun. Should be a longer day here, too. For some reason, we're having shorter super tournament days. For this super tournament, normally we go for almost 5 hours. This was like just a little bit over 3.
Yeah, usually they're
our longest days.
Quite long. I mean, it's 4 best-of-5s, right? Like,
yeah.
That should last a long time. But
they don't have more than 3 games in a best-of-5. I guess it almost becomes a GSL Code S day after all.
Yeah. Well, some surprising results. Hero going down in the first round.
I think Maru takes Beyond.
Okay. These are your predictions?
Solar Gumiho, I'm not sure. Maybe Solar, but I really don't know.
Okay.
I think Bunny beats DRG. And
Dark versus Cure is tough.
Yeah, well, Cure looked insane today, but Dark does play very differently. So, like, what Cure is able to get away with versus RagnaroK, I don't know if he can do it versus Dark.
So who do you take, do you think?
I think I take Dark.
You take Dark? Yeah.
I think if you want to be safe, you go Dark, right? Dark's almost always a safe bet.
I think Maru, Solar, Bunny, and Cure. That's my prediction. I think 3 Terrans in the top 4. I mean, Cure just impressed me so much today.
Well, I mean, that was crazy. And, I mean, RagnaroK was playing very well, but the way that Cure was controlling things,
yeah,
I mean, it was insane, man, some of that targeting.
I mean, even when RagnaroK went in for the surround on the siege tank and the bios outside of his 3rd or his 4th base,
yeah.
I was looking at that and like, oh, wow, like now that it was a little disjointed at the start and now that everything's kind of coming together, this looks really good for the Zerg. And then, like, I blink my eyes and the Zerg army's dead and, like, 2 tanks have died, but the entire bio army's standing and, like, what happened?
It was crazy. Like, the tank shots were just so exactly spaced on the Banelings that they all died except for maybe 2 or 3, where then the infantry just shoot it down. It was so sick. Man, can't believe it.
Top 8's going to be very exciting.
That's right. Monday, we're going to be back for day 3, where we'll be doing the entire round of 8 in one day. More best-of-5s continuing on here in the Super Tournament. And then the finals, same time, same place, 5 p.m. KST. This is earlier. If you watch live, this is an hour and a half earlier than any GSL Code S days. We do start Super Tournament earlier because it's supposed to be longer, even though now we're leaving the studio earlier than we ever normally do.
Yeah. And the finals, it's first come, first serve. There's no admission fees to just
no
get
tickets.
here.
I always get DMs or tweets at me about this. Sometimes we do have tickets. You got to buy a ticket. Not for this one. It's first come, first serve. We have a pretty decently sized studio. For the Super Tournament finals, I think it's never not totally filled up. So I would highly recommend you come down here. We have a lot of regulars. We have a lot of people, regulars that are just in Seoul that come through here, Korean and foreign. And then we get lots of people now traveling back into the country because Korea's finally opened up. You know, we don't have the same kind of COVID travel restrictions. So we have a lot of tourists in the city, and this is a tourist attraction. So if you want to come down, just come to the studio early or early on before the show starts. Again, 5 p.m. So you decide. You don't need to come at like probably 12 p.m. or anything crazy like that, but maybe come an hour early or something like that.
Yeah, that sounds good. And it should be a great finals day, too. I mean, it's Super Tournament, so we have the semifinals and the finals on the final day.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of action, a lot of content, you know, a lot more than we normally have for any finals day. You know, normally at finals, it's literally a Code S finals. It's like...
That's it. The best of 7,
we best of 7, and sometimes it's like very short. Sometimes it's a 4-0. But at least with the Super Tournament final day, we really get a lot. So if you come down, you can hang out in the studio all day. We got a lot of great games.
Yeah, like the top 8 lineup is absolutely stacked, too. Yeah, especially if you're a Terran fan. Like, my goodness.
And if you're a Protoss fan,
sorry.
There's nothing for you, I guess. But you'll see some good games. You get to see who closes it out and becomes the champion of the last big StarCraft game of the whole year. StarCraft tournament of the whole year.
Yeah. Should be a thrilling conclusion. And now hopefully we have some closer matches than we did here in the round of 16.
We should. Usually if it gets one-sided at one part of the tournament, the next part of the tournament, it tends to be closer. So, I mean, very rarely do you have an entire tournament where, like, everything's one-sided, where it's like, oh, all right. Well, that guy that won is clearly the best by a lot.
Yeah.
And now you get to experience what Artosis and me experienced. We go, when are they going to let us close the show out? It's fun, right?
Part of the experience.
It's part of the
it's a lot of fun.
GSL caster experience.
It's a couple more minutes with you guys. A couple more minutes with Tasteless. I don't mind it.
Don't mind it at all. We're
My
going to be hanging out after this too. But yeah, I mean, I hope you guys do come down. We're waiting for the confirmation of GSL for the next year, but we're always waiting for that every year around this time of the year.
It has to get renewed.
Yeah,
so
I got I'm pretty confident actually. But yeah.
It's been a great day. It's been a great round of 16.
I just hope they
see
keep
the
us
look
on
on your
for even longer.
face.
I thought we kind of said everything that had to be said, but and of course, those of you in the studio, it is so good to have you guys down here.
Yeah,
it is
absolutely.
so nice to actually have people come in and casting to an audience once more. And that's it. That's all the time we had to fill, guys. Thank you for watching. We'll see you on Monday, 5 p.m. KST. Bye-bye.